Hello, amazing, beautiful beings. This is Milena. Today, we're going to talk about how to become comfortable being the bad guy. And before you think this is some sort of BS, give me a chance to explain what I mean. Most of us are light beings, genuine, kind, loving, caring beings. And this is why we feel very uncomfortable at the mere suggestion that we might be playing the role of the bad guy in any life situation. Usually this program, this belief, this feeling that we might have is something that allows us to be manipulated into not following our own inner guidance, into staying in toxic relationships, into staying in situations and interactions that lower our vibration and keeps us at a low frequency state. Without putting too much focus on myself, I can tell you that I've been in relationships ranging from codependent and toxic to outright abusive. And I discovered that one of the things that kept me in those relationships was the fear of being the bad guy or even being seen as the bad guy. But because over the years we've been conditioned so much to outsource our own opinion of ourselves to others, we tend to believe, even at a small percentage, what we're being told. So if somebody tells me that I'm not loving, that I'm not caring, that I'm irresponsible, that I'm a bad guy, very often we feel uncomfortable because a tiny bit of us starts questioning, is that really true? Could I possibly be that? And of course, that's not the case. But that is one of the biggest, and has been, especially for me, one of the biggest open doors to manipulation. And this is why part of my own empowerment, and I'm sure the empowerment of many of you, goes through becoming comfortable with being told that you are the bad guy. Now, when I say the bad guy, oftentimes in our process of transformation and empowerment, we recognize that certain things are toxic for us. Toxic in a way that they drain our energy, lower our vibration, don't necessarily help us feel good or raise our frequency in any sort of way. So what do we decide to do? We either put some healthy boundaries on the behaviors of certain people, for example, or we limit our exposure to something, or we just remove something from our lives. And very often when it comes to people, because they're used to us being different, we will start hearing the feedback. You're a traitor, you left me, you never loved me, you're a liar, you never cared for me, how could you have done it in such a way? You're a bad parent, you're a bad daughter or son, or you're an irresponsible, uncaring son or daughter because you used to do all of these things, or you should do that. It doesn't really matter because it can show up in any kind of relationship. And what do? Even if it's to a small degree, we start questioning, did I do things wrong here? Did I really mistreat this person or treat them in the way that was unkind? And we start questioning and doubting ourselves. And we forget that we have a really precise inner compass, inner filter. Because when we drop an action that we have made, a decision that we have made into our heart, it will always tell us whether something is in tune with our own heart essence and who and what we are. I can tell you that in many of the relationships, most of them actually, that I have ended or where I placed boundaries, in one way or another, I have been told the bad guy, that I have betrayed, that I have mistreated the person. And in order to be able to empower myself and move beyond them and transcend or put those boundaries or even leave this person, I had to become comfortable with the fact that I was going to be called in one way or another the bad guy. It doesn't matter what I do, because I tried to convince them that this was good for both of us, that it didn't really serve, that it lowered everybody's frequency. Well, some people might understand and others never will, and that's perfectly okay. Because when we start recognizing the truth and the power within our own heart and our own inner guidance system, then the need to convince anybody else that that's the case, or what we know to be true or good for us, disappears. If we feel the need to prove, to show, to convince anybody that we're not the bad guy. That's just an expression of our ego. And that means that a certain part of us still believes the stuff that we're being told from outside. And that's just a reflection, a manifestation of that. And when we start trusting that inner core and that inner center, it wouldn't really matter who calls you the bad guy, who calls you not caring or unloving or whatever else it might be. You know when that's the case. And you know when you're standing in your truth and when you're allowing your frequency and your words and your action to be a reflection of that. And now that's true empowerment, because you know who and what you are in your heart of hearts, quite literally. And if you need more help integrating that into your own life, book a session at askmilena.com. Remember to subscribe to my newsletter for more tools like this one, as well as the channel, and click on the bell down below so that you can get notified of all future videos which come out on Friday. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye-bye.